Okay, this is my second attempt at a Bible lesson today with a Pokemon background playing. What's up, guys? This is Nicholas, and today we're reading from Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. So if you want to pause the video and go to your own Bible. Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. So I'm going to be starting this series of talking about the scripture and having background footage play of me playing PokeMMO. So this is going to be very laid back and very just like chill. You can have this on in the background, or if you're watching the game because you actually can play Pokemon, then great. I wasn't able to. Well, you'll see how this goes. You'll see how this battle goes. But I just want to talk about God today. And he's the most important thing in my life, and I'm learning a lot from him lately. So we were talking about Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 and forward. So, first off, the verse, right? Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock, right? Matthew 7, 24, right? I keep repeating that. It's important reiteration because we memorize and we want to put his word in our heart. And that's something I need daily. So this verse, for a long time, I would read this verse and hear this verse from preachers and be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I want to build my life on Jesus. It's funny, just like even in that sentence, it's revealing. I want to build my, in parentheses, life, Jesus's life on something solid, on him. And so I want peace and prosperity and hope and joy and all the good things, money and a beautiful wife and loving kids and a good job, right? Those things that we think, especially in America, make up a good life. I don't know why I made that read just now. That was the game being awesome, and I would have totally, if I played this game better, it would have been so good. But God would have had to told me to do it, and I would have had to hit this focus blast. But anyway, so, well, sorry, I just messed that up. But, yeah. Oh, this is me calcing. You gotta calc, okay? You gotta check if your game if you're gonna be able to knock them out. That was unlucky. So, yeah. I just totally lost my train of thought. But, building your life on the rock, right? That's what I was doing. I thought I was doing that for so much of my life. And when I'd hear that verse and put it into practice, I'd be like, okay, so Jesus says if we take his words and do them and build our life, then things are going to go well, right? I know there's going to be trial, kind of. I know that things are going to get tough sometimes, but God is going to, in general, just like Job had suffering. I was totally aware of the plight of Job, but I definitely wasn't like super just expecting that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, then I'm sorry, it's the battle. If I would have hit that focus blast and knew it was Assault Vest, I could have won, right, pretty much on the spot with Gengar, but unfortunately, God did not allow me to do that. And this is a perfect example of going back to it, okay? So I'm trying to get to the point, but I'm meandering. So this is my first video. Be patient with me. In chapter 7 of Matthew, in verse 24, Jesus said, whoever hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And when life came and knocked on the door and was trying to knock it down, it stood. The house stayed standing. And for a long time, when I read that verse, it was like God was telling me, you've got to build your life on me. You've got to choose me, okay? This life you have is not yours. And I got like half of that. I felt like I understood, and I said, okay, so that means I'm going to get to do what I want a lot. And God is like, no. But I didn't listen very good. So then, I did a lot of things that I did a lot of things I should not have. There's a lot of sin and a lot of poor choices and a lot of life that I've lived where I thought, I'm just wondering. This is really hard. Doing YouTube is hard. People don't talk about that. Because it's like I'm sitting here in this room by myself thinking, what is going on? This is crazy. Like, and it's like, I mean, I'm glad you guys have something to watch in the background. This is a pretty interesting game. I get clapped, sadly. See, that's an interesting phrase. What do I even want to talk about? So, the analogy that God kind of like showed me through reading Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 and forward is when we have a house and we build additions that we make. So think about it like this. You get your dream house, right? Like everything you could ever need, right? Emphasis on need. God gave you a house, and that is a representation of your life. God gave you whatever your life is. It doesn't matter if you were born a paraplegic, if you were born with no arms, no legs, no eyes, no ears, no nose, like you're just a like shell of a person, okay? God still gave you a life, and you have everything you need in this life. Pre-cooked. It's already baked in. Everything you need, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you acknowledge it before God or not. God gave you this life. Everybody this life. Okay? And we all chase things. We all chase after things that aren't needs but are wants. Like even this that I'm doing right now for YouTube, it's something that I want to do for a long time, but God has blocked, and I don't know if it'll ever take off, but I'm not worried about that anymore. I just trust God's timing and his plan, and I'm going to get better and better, right? Like, this is why script is important. Maybe this is something that I'm going to write down. Yeah, I'm going to start writing down. My wife even gave me a notebook. She gave me something I can write in, and I can put scripts for YouTube videos, and I'm going to start doing that because I suck at this. This is something that I'm going to need to get better and better at, just talking off the... And that's okay. Like, you got to accept and know that you suck sometimes, because just like, what's it called? Somebody said, a wise person said, being bad at something is the start of being good at something. So, I lost this game. I have lost in life. I built things on my house. And so this is for anybody who understands it and gets this. I have built so much on my house. This life that God gave me, everything that I've needed and I've had that he gave me and that I wanted really, which is a relationship with him, a beautiful, loving, amazing family, the resources and stability to be able to enjoy my work, enjoy my life, my job right now. I'm glad I have my job right now, and I'm enjoying this season of my job. So when real life happens, when tragedy or crisis comes, and God lets all the things that you've added to your life that he didn't want in the first place, and they get swept away in the flood, don't be surprised. And don't blame him. And don't question your own salvation. I know that's a lot to say, but like, don't blame God. God is not the one trying to hurt you. He's allowing things to happen in your life that are already pointed and purposeful, but he never, ever, ever inflicts pain or damage or senseless suffering on anybody. If there is something that's happening and it means discipline probably, then God is using it for good. Even with Job, he put Job through the ringer. He let his house built on the rock get flooded, right? The flood waters were rising and Job's head barely stayed above the water. And I know exactly what that feels like. I mean, not that I am Job, but that I know where Job has been. And I have been before the Lord destitute, desperate, and saying, Lord, please, I'm begging you. And since the battle is almost over and this video is almost over, all I got to say is God will move first, and he's going to take away so much, but he gives everything you need. All right, people, that's it from Nick. I love you guys. God bless, and stay strong. Bye-bye.